By the year 2378, overpopulation had led to severe global warming, disease, and dwindling resources. Earth had become nearly uninhabitable. Rising ocean levels had reduced land area to 65% of what it was in 2010. In response, scientists sought to replace the physical world with one more pleasant and less wasteful. It began with an experiment to help the terminally ill.
Look, Sandra, I know you're in a lot of pain, a lot of anguish. I have a new option for you. We can create a computer image of your mind and run it in a simulated world. There'll be no pain, no suffering.
How does it work?
Well, you'll be one of the first people to undergo this treatment. We call it transplantation. What we do is we scan your mind and we make it into a computer program and put it onto a chip. There's a 99% success rate, and we've had no complaints about anyone losing their memories or personalities.
So, what's the catch?
The scanning process involves intense x-rays that will severely damage cell tissue. We have to destroy your brain, but don't worry, it'll be painless.
People flocked to the idea of moving to a world better than their own.
Mommy, I want to be transplanted. I don't want to be hungry anymore.
At first, the virtual world appeared to be a utopia. There seemed to be no downside. People lived to their heart's content. Experts cited a revolution in economic principles.
Most of the problems previously experienced in the world were a result of unfulfilled desires. Well, in the new world, these unlimited wants were no longer restricted by limited resources. In the past, they talked about supply and demand. Well, there's infinite supply now to match our infinite demand. We've achieved universal happiness.
But behind the scenes, there was much more going on to keep the world functioning. In order to maintain the external physical systems from within the simulation, they, the scientists, engineered robotic surrogates called avatars. Specially trained agents controlled these avatars through an immersive platform. The remotely controlled robots fought battles for the virtual people against the natives that remained in the physical world, which was called meat space. These hermits lived in an ascetic life in the harsh conditions of the outer world.
These people, these meat spacers, they were the same kind of people who distrusted computers back in 2010. Sergeant Jones, status report. We've just lost another section of the power grid. These meat spacers just outwitted us this time. Improvised bombs. We're gonna have to shut down yet another town. The whole world is going out of sync these days. We need more power than ever before. What's wrong with them? Why can't they see that living in our world, the real world, is so much better? Damn meat spacers. All they want to do is rip apart solar panels.
The real problem was that they needed farmland. Solar cells covered 90% of the remaining arable land. Eventually, technicians discovered that the simulation itself was becoming unstable.
The system's getting bogged down by all these independent thoughts. Our processes can't possibly handle all this load. With the current trend, the system could shut down within 2 months. We're seeing more and more errors crop up. Just last week, we had to delete a whole city that was corrupted. We just don't have enough power anymore.
They decided that people could not be allowed to think freely. Certain types of thought were too expensive to maintain.
Oh, it's brilliant. All we have to do is make them forget what they were ever thinking about.
But what about humanity? Creativity?
Would you rather the whole system fail? For what? For art?
And if people rebel against these restrictions?
Maybe that'd be a problem, but we could always just delete them.
I don't like the sound of this.
A year later, the thought restrictions were implemented. Most people in the world had their thoughts filtered automatically. When they entered the simulation, the scientists wiped the memories of the old world from their minds. They believed they had lived in the virtual world all their lives. Yet, for a few people, the restrictions didn't seem to hold.
Steph, I dreamt something yesterday. I haven't had a dream this clear in years. It seemed like this really old memory. The world was unbelievably dirty, crowded too. We all crowded into this room with a big machine in it. They stuck my head in, and there was this huge white flash, and I thought my head exploded. I woke up feeling like I had lost something important. Isn't that weird?
Are you high? Although, I thought I heard once that we were... Crap, I forgot what I was gonna say.
We were talking about my dream.
Your dream? What dream?
I just told you about it. Did you catch amnesia somehow? Everyone seems to be catching amnesia these days.
We've located an anomaly. It appears that the power surge last night gave him momentary access to our restricted memory banks. Capture him at once. He almost destabilized another citizen. You're under arrest. Under the policies of real world, you're to be detained at a secure location. For years we have been controlling the thoughts of everyone living inside this virtual world. It appears that you are an anomaly. Your unrestricted thoughts are a threat to the stability of the system.
System? Virtual world? Is this about my dream?
The agents explained everything to Jay, from the conception of the simulation to the present.
You now have two options. Be deleted from the system, terminating your mind, or you can come to work for us. Help censor people's minds and maintain a happy world.
You don't leave me much choice then, do you?
No, you don't.
Jay underwent rigorous training as an agent and eventually became one of the most successful enforcers of proper thoughts.